Hey guys, welcome back to Warcraft 2 Arena, episode 8, part 1. Time to shake off some rust. So I went ahead and I entered a one-on-one Warcraft 2 Remastered tournament here in April 2025. And so I recorded my first 4 games here. And so I'll have a link in the description below there for the tournament, the brackets, and you can have a look there. It's a 16-player tournament, and it's playing a bunch of BattleNet Edition maps here. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to shake off some rust here and have a bit of fun and play some new maps. And anyway, so I've got 4 games recorded here, and 2 of which against Mactruck, and 2 of which against Goudanuff, which you might have seen in my last video. Actually, I think they're both in that video anyway. Yeah, so they're both pretty competent players here in the community. So I was a little worried here. But anyway, so this is going to be a long video. We'll see how it goes here. But it's going to be about an hour here. So you can use the timestamps in the description if you want to just kind of hop between the games. And I'll try to, maybe flag a few interesting moments throughout the games here. But anyway, let's go ahead and we'll get started here. So basically, we're going to start off here the first 2 games against Goudanuff, and see me not really knowing where my gold mine is here. So I did, prior to playing these games, actually load them up with some computer opponents just to kind of look at them. But anyway, I was having a few drinks here last night as I was playing these games, and between that and not being very familiar with the maps here, yeah, you're probably gonna see a few things that I probably did a little differently due to that fact. But I'm not making any excuses here. I mean, yeah, I have a broken hand. I'm also hooked up to an IV machine in the hospital here, but that's no excuse, guys. I was at peak performance here. Anyway, I'm just messing around. Yeah, I definitely am a little rusty, though, I will say that. So as you can see here, I'm just, yeah, putting up a farm. And so, yeah, so this map is Skirmish, and it reminds me a lot of an old map called One Way In, One Way Out, where it's pretty much, and it does aptly have, the name Skirmish is great. So it really is just a rushing map, and the reason for that is because you're just kind of far enough away from your opponent that it would be tricky to get away with some early, shenanigans with towers and whatnot. There's also roads, so you can't really wall off in that many areas here. So you can really just set up choke points, to stop the opponent from getting over to your side of the map here. And yeah, as you can see here, I send a worker just to see what he's up to, and he's repairing a barracks. And yeah, so I've got 2 barracks on the go here, so 1 already complete, and then my blacksmith, I'm just repairing that because yeah, just in case he did, which I think he may have based on the fact that he had so many workers repairing his barracks there. So he might be slightly ahead of me here in upgrades. And anyway, so I'm pretty much going for a low econ rush build here. If you watch one of my early videos, you'll kind of see me using a similar strategy here. I think that was episode 4 that I had kind of done a similar strategy here. But anyway, so this map has it doesn't have very much gold in your starting gold mine. I think it's 30k. I'm actually not sure as I'm recording this here on Monday, the day after I played these games. And yeah, so you can see here I've got my grunts, and so I'm going ahead to kind of push the issue here. And yeah, so he's now only just putting up his 2nd barrack. So he's using kind of a different type of a build here. And anyway, so I've got him outnumbered with my 2 raxes. So with that, I should be able to overwhelm him here, and I do, although he smartly, pulls off his workers to help defend himself as I go ahead and hit level 3, and you can see me consistently popping out some some more upgrades there. Anyway, so here I'm just kind of microing that grunt around. You know, unit micro in Warcraft 2 is really just about, you know, keeping your units that are being targeted away from the opponent and letting them run around and, you know, getting some hits in with your other units. Anyway, you can see here I've kind of got a bit of an advantage going, although he's got quite a few workers compared to me. I pretty much stopped making workers at you know, 10 or 11 or so, and yeah, so beyond there it's just been grunts. So anyway, I go ahead and I hit level 4 there, so things are going decently well for me at this point, although I wouldn't say there's really much of a swing one way or the other. You know, this map and my mindset throughout this entire game is basically that my gold mine is going to blow up, and so is his. And the more efficient I can be with my gold and making grunts, the better that's going to be when we do eventually transition over into expanding, if that even does happen. Because when you're playing like tight rushing games against you know, similarly skilled opponents, as you can see, I kind of mess up there a little bit. But anyway, when you're playing, you know, in these tight rushing games, you know, you even just expanding and building a town hall could be the difference between winning and losing. Because if you catch them with it, you know, those 2 extra grunts that you could have afforded without building that town hall, then, you know, that could be the difference of, you know, winning or losing here. Anyway. Work complete. Yeah, I just had to throw my cat out the window there. Anyway, you can see here, yeah, I've got some grunts just kind of hanging back there, and I probably should have engaged them there right away. And as you can see, they're not perfect from my side of things, but good enough. We're pretty closely matched there, but I think I might have just a little tiny bit of an edge there, so I'm gonna probably just hang back. As you can see, I've got more grunts than him for the moment, but you know, one of them, yeah, 2 of them are basically dead. So yeah, I've really only got 3 grunts there, even though there's 5. But yeah, going back to microing, like when you'll see here, like I've got a grunt that's basically dead. When you're going to engage your enemy, you want to kind of keep him hanging back, because what'll basically just happen is, as soon as you engage their grunts, they're just gonna hit that, you know, that first engaging grunt right away. And if he's only got like 1 hit point left, then, you know, you'll be lucky if he gets 1 hit in before he dies. Whereas if you've just got a big mess of grunts attacking, you know, in that case, you know, he might just, you know, get quite a few hits off before the opponent either micros against him or just naturally, you know, gets targeted by one of his grunts after another one dies. So little tricks like that are, you know, they can make all the difference in the world in terms of engaging here. So here I've pretty much got him trashed, and I thought at this point in the game I was like, okay, I think I've just won here, but I probably I kind of stupidly just run right into his gold flow production, and as you can see there, this guy hasn't stopped making peons. Like, he's got probably almost twice as many peons as I do, and you know, but because he's effectively fighting my grunts off with them, you know, then he's really made up for the fact that I've done a more economic build here. Although we'll see what happens. Is, you know, we're still kind of mining here. I literally just started chopping wood for the first time here, you know, late into this match already here. So, and I've just created a few more peons just so I can maintain my gold flow. Although at this point I've got quite a bit of gold. As you can see up there, I've got, you know, almost 5,000 gold. So yeah, I really probably should have started chopping wood earlier than this, but in any event, yeah, so I fumbled there, and I should have backed off. I got a little overly ambitious, and anyway, you can see he's got me outnumbered quite quite well here. So this was definitely a big back and forth game as yeah, he loses one grunt there, just not paying attention as they kind of keep falling forward as the rest of his grunts stop. So yeah, anyway, he's definitely probably feeling a little confident at this point, although as I hold back and, you know, kind of ramp up my army here, I go ahead and I decide I'm going to go and engage and just kind of micro a few units back and forth there, and then I realize that, all right, this isn't actually going very well, I better back up again. And yeah, so yeah, this game is 100% just a grunt rush battle. And I love that. I think that's great. And yeah, so anyway, I've got about 9 grunts here, and I decided to go ahead and engage again, realizing that most of his grunts are actually half dead here. So even though he has me grossly outnumbered, yeah, like 5 out of those 10 grunts that he's got there are yeah, basically dead. Anyway, so as you can see here, I've got 5,000 gold left, and my gold mine's blown. And this is pretty just amateurish of me here. Like, I don't even know where my gold mine is. As you can see, I'm just kind of wandering around, and I'm not playing. You know, I'm not very frantically trying to find it either here, as I just kind of slowly command my peons around there. But I do go ahead and I decide to push here because I know, because he made all those peons, that's where I'm actually going to start. Like, this is all the sacrificial time that I spent not making workers is about to pay off here, as I've still pumping out some grunts here as I was farm blocked. And that's another part of this strategy that, you know, I didn't make too many farms here, and so that just saved me a little bit more money too, right? Because if you're constantly making peons and grunts, you're gonna have to have way more farms. So I've only got 5 farms here, you know, enough food for 21 units. I'm guessing he's probably got more than that. He's got 2 up there and then 4 there, so he's at least got 1 more farm than I do, possibly 2. You know, again, as I'm really at this point, I just assume that you know, I can finish him off here. I just feel confident that I can finish him off with what few units I have, because you know, he's kind of, you know, he's long mining. I don't think he's taken another base. He may have actually taken another base, and I just didn't even know. Totally possible, but as you can see here, he's got a lot of peons flying around, so I'm assuming that he didn't. And anyway, so here's Custer's last stand here as I'm long mining, and yeah, he finally gives up. And so yeah, that's the end of game 1 here, guys. Very close one, really just came down to the wire. And one of the reasons I really like this map is just, you know, it usually is going to make for either quick or very close games. And in this case, it was a very close game. So, all right, we'll jump right into game 2 here. So this is on the another one-on-one map here, which, by the way, both of these maps are 2-player maps. Skirmish and the River Quay or Quay. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's Quay. I'm going to go with that. Anyway, another map that I'd never really played before. Now, this is actually quite a different one-on-one map in a lot of ways. So Skirmish, like I said, like, you're very close to each other, and it's pretty much a rushing map. Whereas this map, you're quite a distance from each other. Like, it's a fairly large map in comparison. And it's also very complex. Like, there's 2 kind of like bridges that intersect between the top and the bottom half of the map here, and you've got I think 3 gold mines on each side. So you've got one kind of awkwardly on the other corner of the map, so in my case on the bottom right hand side of the map, and you've got to kind of traverse this river, you know, to get there the whole way along the tree line. So you've just got a few spaces to kind of maneuver your unit to get all the way there. So you've really got to you can't just, like, you know, select a peon or a peasant, right click over there, and then all of a sudden he's there and you're building the hall. Like, you've really got to walk him like you're, you know, trying to walk a disobedient dog across the map here. And yeah, so anyway, in this game, I don't really know what my strategy is yet, because this isn't the first time I've played this map, you know, kind of competitively. And but I did know, okay, I'm gonna take the time to micro my unit to get into that base early when I've got less things going on, so that way it's yeah, easier to do. Because when you're in the, it's harder to do things like this when you're, you know, you got like 3 or 4 barracks pumping units, you're being attacked, you're trying to expand and whatnot. As he's gone ahead and scouted me there, and I got a hit on that, and then I realized, okay, well, he's actually trying to wall me off here with the barracks, and I'm not really worried about this at the moment, because I've got my barracks there, and yeah, it takes a while to finish a barracks, and I decided I'm going to actually expand right away to my natural there. And anyway, so as I'm doing that, I'm, you know, kind of still keeping an eye on this. And I mean, this is one thing this is doing that benefits him, is it's kind of keeping me at home, so I'm not sending my units out to you know, scout or attack. And it, you know, kind of gives him some information too, like how many, you know, footmen am I making. Anyway, so he goes ahead and cancels, and I brought my workers over there because I knew he wasn't going to let that finish, and I didn't want that peon to get any farther into my base, so yeah, I just brought those guys over there pretty much for exactly what happened there. Yeah, so you can see here, this map's kind of annoying. So there's my you know, third gold mine there, just at the 9 o'clock spot on the map here. And yeah, so I've got 4 footmen. I still don't even know what he's doing. I did a pretty lousy job of scouting in this game, admittedly, but at the same time, sometimes it doesn't matter if you scout, because it wouldn't have changed anything that I'm doing here anyway. As you can see, I've got my second base up there, which he probably would assume that I don't, because of the fact that I have these footmen and I was rushing. You know, dual rushing is kind of, you know, I mean, it's certainly something a lot of players do, but it's usually a little bit less expected, so to speak, than, you know, just straight up one base rushing, you know, because it does slow you down technologically. Anyway, so he's got a rax there walling his base off, and so I'm just kind of, excuse me, floating around here and exploring and seeing how I can get in. So he pulls out an archer that pretty much scares me off, and yeah, so I should be kind of running around the map here and doing a little bit more exploring and scouting, you know, here. And so I kind of do. As you can see, he's got a tower up there and the archer, so that's plenty to scare me off there. So I attacked that farm for a bit, but of course I realized he's gonna bring up his archer there, but I figure I'm here, why not take a few hits at it? And anyway, so yeah, still just, I'm not really committing to anything with this strategy, really. I'm just kind of like, yeah, just making units and, yeah, keeping enough footmen on the go there that just in case, you know, although, I mean, probably if I was smart, I would have stopped footman production here and just gone for my keep upgrade. And yeah, so I'm going to expand or scout his awkward natural there. And anyway, so I realize, oh, he's actually going to farm here. So I just go ahead and attack that. And I assume at this point that he's taken that base as well. And I'm just kind of waiting for him to do something there. But as you can see, you can basically wall this base off with a farm, so that's quite handy in terms of, you know, defending it. I mean, on this map, it's such a pain to get to that, especially from your opponent's side of things, that, you know, the odds that they're gonna go in there and attack that with anything more than a couple of footmen are pretty much slim to none, because I mean, they pretty much have to walk past your base in order to get over there anyway. So if they're really going to lay it on you, you know, with some, you know, siege weapons or, you know, a big attack, I mean, chances are they're just going to leave that alone and go right at your main base, or like go right for the throat there. Because navigating an army over there, yeah, big pain. As you can see, though, I decide actually I'm going to do that. And in fact, as I'm saying that, I'm kind of realizing too that there's another way up on the side of the map here. You can kind of go up to your base, But actually, as you can see, that farm's just about to die, and I'm like, why am I actually getting in here? So here I'm just kind of patiently waiting for it to die so he doesn't have a chance to re-wall. And actually, I kind of screwed that up, but I got in anyway. So I finally get in there, and then lo and behold, there's actually nothing in there. So he's got it walled off, which was probably a smart move to do, irregardless of if you're going to take it or not, just for the fact that you're going to confuse your opponent like he just did to me, and also, like, you know, you can wall it off and then just have your unit in there waiting to take it whenever you're ready. So anyway, I've got my Ballista here, and here is kind of a demonstration of me being very inefficient here, you know, kind of not even knowing where to build my my barracks. And anyway, so I just decide, all right, well, I'm too late to do anything with this Ballista, so I'm basically just going to use them defensively. Like, I'm just going to keep them back in my base, because I have a pretty good feeling at this point in the game that he's probably got more than I do in terms of, you know, like units. I'm guessing he's probably got a bunch of knights at this point, and so I'm like, well, I better just brace for impact here. And as you can see, my mind's blown there, and so I'm slowly microing all of my my workers at my main base up to my expansion here. And excuse me, this isn't great play by me by any means. Keeping my footmen over there is probably, as I accidentally somehow hit F5 here, and anyway, toggle it back to the new version of the game. So yeah, anyway, I'm just not playing very good. If I'm just being critical myself here, I'm just, you know, I throw some towers here, which is probably smart to do that, but yeah, I definitely, you know, I've got just units kind of hanging around, wasting time all over the map here. And yeah, so I finally get them all mining here, and yeah, so keeping my 2 footmen up there is, you know, pretty smart. And they're, because he's probably gonna, you know, he might just send, you know, it's like he's got to commit to get it clearing that out now. Like, he can't just send 1 footman, or, you know, if he sends a peon, of course, he's gonna die. Yeah, so here he comes in and he attacks me, and he kind of catches me off guard. As you can see here, he's kind of got the same idea as me with the Ballista. And yeah, so I'm just throwing out another barracks here, because I realize, yeah, as you can see, I'm just playing really sloppy. Like, I'm just clicking around everywhere, nothing's going where I wanted to, etc. And yeah, so this Ballista kind of pays off with what I've decided to do with them here. And yeah, so these towers tend to pay off as well here. As you can see, he goes in to take care of some units there. And yeah, so I've got just enough to kind of hold him off here as he attacks my natural expansion. Yeah, so I'm doing okay here. Like, I survived the onslaught here. You know, he had a more strategic opening than me. You know, just pretty much powering right up to knights, not wasting any time or resources on any footmen, which I did. So the fact that I've secured my expansion and that I've held off his, you know, his big attack here kind of levels us both off as I'm going, finally getting some mages up here. Now, I probably should have gotten a church here too for the healing. I think that would have definitely given me another advantage here, as I kind of micromanage some of my units and yeah, throw up another mage tower. So yeah, so there's 2 mines on the rivers, one of which I haven't even explored yet, and those are kind of like the you know, the key points. Like, you've got your 2 expansions on each side. Oh, and boom. Yeah, using some Dwarven demolition squad there to take out 3 of my knights. So that was actually really good. Those things are, I think they're 700 gold, and 3 knights is 2,400 gold. So yeah, that was pretty big. And yeah, he's got all of his flying machines everywhere too, which I find flying machines are just annoying when they're just hovering over you. It's just like a constant reminder that your enemy's right up your butt and he knows what you're doing. So yeah, I probably should have just made an archer just to get rid of that thing, because anyway, yeah, so I usually don't make flying machines or zeppelins in Warcraft 2, just because, like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like they're a waste of money in a way for me, because like I'm scouting things instinctively. Like, I know what to look for. You know, they do come in handy in terms of, like, you know, he could be you know, coming towards me, and it gives you a heads up of what your opponent's doing. So there's value to it, but just for me, I always mentally just think I'd rather have those extra resources to make one more unit that might push things over the edge. And then when I do make them, I usually end up forgetting about them anyway, and they just kind of sit somewhere, and usually don't be, you know, they're not really that integral into my mindset when I'm playing the game. So yeah, for that reason, I usually don't make them very often. But anyway, here I'm just kind of pushing ahead, seeing what he's up to. Yeah, so I've got just a group of knights. Now I guess this is all he's got here now, but I assume he would have had more, you know, knights at this point. So they might be running around, you know, maybe about to backdoor me here, who knows. Anyway, so I'm just, yeah, floating around there, and not overwhelming them, but yeah, definitely applying some pressure. So anyways, as you can see here, I've just got some peons everywhere. So I decided at this point, okay, I'm going to take this bridge map here, because or mine, because my expansions are basically cooked at this point. I've got yeah, the bottom right's completely mined out, and then my natural expansion there, actually, I think that just mined out too at this point in the game. So yeah, anyways, you can see I've got a pretty good chunk of money to kind of tide me over here until I get some more gold flow. Yeah, I've got 22,000 gold. Anyway, so I'm, yeah, definitely just trying to hold this off here. And so I've got my mages, and I've got, you know, kind of a choke point here, so things should be fine. And you'll see, as you can see here, I'm getting blizzarded. Yeah, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna get all my workers here and send them over to this base. Sorry, got a little distracted there. And by the way, I'm probably not going to edit this, because it's going to take me forever. I mean, an hour. I don't even know if I can talk for an hour straight. I don't think I've ever spoken this long before. So again, we're going to see how these games go here. But yeah, so you'll have to excuse the imperfections here as we go. Yeah, so anyway, as you can see here, he's kind of blizzarded behind my frontline attack, so I kind of retreat and yeah, follow that up with some blizzard of my own here. So yeah, he hasn't taken that corresponding top middle bridge gold mine here, and so that basically puts me in the lead here at this point, as I've, yeah, just got a bunch of idle workers everywhere. Again, I didn't play very good here. I mean, I'm not, oh, here we go. So actually, he did take that base, and not only that, but he's mined it out. So, excuse me. Yeah, so, yeah, he's actually on equal footing, but the difference, of course, is that I mined out my natural, whereas he hasn't even. As you can see, my footmen are still patrolling up there. So he's pretty much, for whatever reason, he's given up on taking that base. You know, and again, it probably just comes down to the fact that it's such a pain to, you know, march your units over there. You know, it takes, you know, a solid like 15 seconds of just kind of focused effort to, you know, get your units over the map there, which again, when you're busy and you got, you know, production units or production buildings everywhere, you're trying to, you know, stay up to speed with your opponent. And you know, anyway, so here he comes again with all of his workers, and anyway, he probably could have, I don't know why he did this, like he might have assumed that I had taken his expansion or something, I don't know, but then again, he had flying machines. I don't know why he decided to I think he just kind of gave up, you know, maybe morally he was crushed at this point, I don't know. But yeah, he could have actually, instead of doing that, engaging me, he could have gone and taken his natural expansion and tried to come back from the position that he was in. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, I take him out 2-0, and we jump into the third game here. So this one's against Mactruck. So here we go on the River Kwai again. So by this point, I've kind of got a decent idea of how this map is. Yeah, so I'm starting to get a little bit more sense of, you know, what I can get away with on this map here. And so I'm playing against Mactruck, who, like Goudanuff, again, is a Goudanuff. Anyway, so very competent player. And yeah, me kind of not really having too much time back in from my retirement here. I was pretty worried these guys were just going to mop the floor with me here, but I mean, yeah, so far I'm doing all right. I'm 2-0 in my first bracket, I guess you call it, of the tournament here. So there's 16 players in the tournament, 4 in one of 4 divisions. I think I'm in C division, and so you've got basically a week to play 2 games against each opponent, and the top 2 players from each division move on to the next round. And to be honest with you, I don't even know what happens from there. So as you can see here, I'm doing the same thing with my awkward expansion. I'm just saying, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get over there ASAP, and yeah. And as I'm doing that, this time I'm orcs here, and yeah, we'll see what happens in this game. So yeah, so I'm over at my my expansion. I just go ahead and take it right away. I just figured, actually, based on the position that the wall in is there, had I walled in with a farm, my unit would have basically been popped on the outside. That would have been really annoying, because then I would have had to basically chop back into my base and essentially eliminating the point of me walling off to begin with. So I kill that sheep, yeah, just because it's annoying. Sheep are, some map editors or map creators will put sheep in their maps, and yeah, they're just there to kill, basically, because yeah, they're eventually gonna just get in your way when you're trying to build something, and they're gonna piss you off. And then yeah, so anyway, here I pretty much put my racks out as far away from my baits as I can. Like I think I had kind of an idea that here that I was gonna be aggressive, despite the fact that I was you know, taking a second base here. And anyway, it doesn't really go according to plan. And anyway, so I just still just pumping out units here, and here I finally decide, okay, I'm gonna wall this off here, because nothing would have been worse at that point in the game if he had just sent the scouting grunt up there, and then well, I guess it wouldn't have been that bad, but it would have been a pain anyway. So yeah, so that's the one thing I guess I don't like about this map, is just that expansion just being so awkward and hard to get to with the pathfinding in Warcraft 2. I just don't really like that too much. Anyway, so yeah, I've got my my 1 Rax and my Smith, and yeah, again, just kind of producing units here. So I've got that Peon pretty much outside, so I decide to keep on in here. I scout with my worker to see what he's doing. And yeah, he's kind of doing the same thing that Goudanuff did, and as far as just like walling off with minimal defenses here. So he builds an archer just pretty much out of necessity there, as I decide, okay, I'm gonna go see if he's got his other base up. So if I was smart here, I pretty much would just be pulling off some units on wood, and just having enough gold production to make more peons and farms. And instead of that, I keep upgrading and I keep making grunts. Yeah, which probably was just kind of a waste. As I scout down here, I actually noticed that he doesn't have his expansion taken. So I actually just go ahead and I wall it off right away, and I actually put a tower there. And that's going to be really annoying. I mean, just that one, you know, small building there is pretty much just going to stop this guy from probably taking that expansion, or you know, at least for the foreseeable future. And not only that, but when he does go to scout it, he's gonna basically get shot down by a tower to add insult to injury. So yeah, so my second base here, yeah, I'm not doing the greatest job at production here. I mean, I think I just skipped making a worker up at the top left there. Yeah, little mistakes like that tend to they put you back. And yeah, so anyway, I finally decided, okay, I need a lumber mill here. And you know, I should be worried that he's gonna pretty much come at me with you know, pretty sizable army here. You know, 2 base powering, and like I'm extending myself too far in this game. Like I've got the tower, I've got grunts, I've got 2 bases. Like I'm just doing too much at once. So like a really you know, really kind of focused strategy here would run me over, and that may end up being what ends up happening here. But as you can see, my yeah, my resource management here is just pretty bad. You know, I've got 4,000 gold here. I mean, you really want to be as close to 0 with your resources at all points of the game as you can be, because that means that you're spending everything efficiently. And yeah, so when you've got a bunch of gold banked, I mean, later in the game, that's fine, and that's kind of what you want to do. You want to just kind of mine out the, you know, the map and hoard as many you know, resources as you possibly can. But you know, if you haven't like built up all of your infrastructure and your tech, and you've got a ton of gold, you're doing something wrong. So anyway, here I decide, okay, well, I'm gonna just take this base here, and I've got my grunts just kind of hanging out, and I'm kind of just waiting for hopefully him to chop out of his tree line here with my grunts, so I can actually do something worthwhile with them, where they've really not, they've been up to this point, my grunts have been a complete waste of money. I've not accomplished anything with them. And as you can see there, I'm kind of chopping out of my main base as well. Yeah, I do a really poor job in this game of just scouting here. Like, I haven't scouted as natural here, really. And I haven't really scouted the, yeah, anyway, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know where his barracks are. Like, I just don't really know anything. I'm just kind of like, you know, hanging around here, waiting, you know, to get a little sneak attack in. And meanwhile, I'm not even fortress yet. Like, I mean, if I was to play this, yeah. Anyway, so I do discover he's got a blacksmith there with a tower that's gonna send me away. Then I check out his lumber mill. So yeah, this guy, he's got a pretty good idea what he's doing here. He's got everything walled off and tucked in, and I'm just, like I said, overextended here as I start producing units out of on his 3rd base. So at this point, I mean, yeah, as I was about to say though, like if I were to play this again, like if I was playing against myself, I probably would have killed myself by this point in the game, because I'm just dead slow on upgrades. I don't even have any ogres out. You know, I've just got this cluster of grunts who are approaching level 5, and now I'm finally getting some tech here, so I'm throwing up some raxes, and finally just getting my altar of storms here to get some bloodlust. And again, I'm just waiting for him to kind of chop out here. Like, I'm, you know, I should be running those grunts down onto the lower side of the map, like that bridge, you know, and assuming that he's going to be coming from that direction. And yeah, here we go. So you can see, yeah, he's yeah, he's pretty much just running me over here. You know, he's got like what, nine paladins there. So I pretty much just run up there, throw up a tower, realizing that I'm outnumbered here. And yeah, still waiting for him to chop out, and still he smartly keeps his whole base walled off. I think I spent half this game so far just waiting for those grunts to be able to do something. And yeah, anyway, so I get my tower upgraded there. As you can see though, like I don't know why I bothered with that, because my base is basically chopped out. And as you can see, I've got like no gold here, so I kind of realized, okay, all right, boys, stop chopping, get into those gold mines here. And anyway, yeah, so I've still got these 3 raxes producing ogres, which, as you can see here, they're whittling away his army of knights here. And without him reinforcing that, I'm gonna have a chance here to come back. But yeah, really, I mean, he should have killed me here. You know, but I mean, I can't be critical of him for not killing me because I'm the one who put myself in a killable position. But yeah, like if you know, just all things you know, being equal here, as you can see, I decided to research base dead, and then realize that I'm not, no way I'm gonna get away with that. So I cancel that, and yeah, so I'm just pumping up some barracks here because I figure once I hit Bloodlust, I'll be able to at least hold them off here. As you can see, I'm just barely, he runs up there. He went the wrong way. If he'd gone the other way, he would have found all my juicy peons to kill there. But I don't get there in time to repair that tower, I don't think, before he take it. Or yeah, I guess I do actually. Anyway, so yeah, I'm still hanging by a thread here. And actually, things are starting to look better for me, by the second here, the longer he's not able to finish me off with these knights. And as he's been doing that, I've, put up 3 more barracks behind his aggression. So, here I've run out of food. So I've got quite a few units here. I've got my Temple of the Dam down at the bottom right. And at this point, I still have those grunts over by his base. And they're just, and really, if I was smart too, again, I would have sent those home to, defend myself. But yeah, so I'm mining out his, or my natural pretty hard. And yeah, so yeah, he finally takes out my, my 3 barracks down there. And again, I've got, 3 more up by my main fortress here. So yeah, he's got, he's still reinforcing here. And yeah, I catch him with some lust here. Now, I'd say this game is a really good example of how the balance changes with Bloodlust has changed the way this game's been played, because I feel like even though I basically just about died here, I probably, in the old game, might have won this. I'm just going to say might have won this game just because of Bloodlust. But in the case of this game, because they nerfed Bloodlust, you'll see as the game goes on here. But anyway, so I'm just kind of desperately trying to keep my main base alive here. I just don't want to lose my, as my top left base gets destroyed there. Yeah, I don't want to lose my fortress. Obviously, I don't want to lose your fortress, but I never really want to lose anything. But I've lost my ogre mount, so I'm kind of repairing that. And I'm just making some grunts out of desperation here. And again, I have a patch of grunts down by his base. And yeah, so I've got 1 ogre there that I was able to chop out of that little block-in area that I had created. Yeah, so my grunts, just going after him here. And yeah, so now I've got all these grunts. And yeah, again, I've got these grunts just sitting there like the whole game. And then finally, I'm like, okay, we can kill some workers here. Let's do some damage. And yeah, he's got a guard tower over there. So I'm going to probably take that out, I'm assuming. And so I go up to the middle. And, again, my scouting here is pretty lousy. I haven't scouted that lower bridge gold mine in, forever. And as you can see here, he's like, oh, okay. He's taking my base. So, yeah, like I said, that one tower, that's where it really paid off. And yeah, so anyway, so my base at the top left's mined out, so I figure I'll send my worker units around. And yeah, like this map, I think I was kind of annoyed at this point in the game. Just traversing this map is just annoying when you're not really, especially with me not being very familiar with it, because on a lot of maps, and like a lot of the most popular Warcraft maps, they're kind of laid out, in a way that's kind of, I guess you could say, user-friendly, where, you can click somewhere on the map and there's not going to be too much getting in your way to, getting to your final destination. Anyway, you can see here he's quite, he's packing some heat here with all those knights. And I'm really just preying on Bloodlust here to turn the tides of battle, as he's gone ahead and slaughtered my units up there. And again, so yeah, at the top right, I've just got a bunch of workers just chopping wood there, and I really need gold at this point. I mean, in a perfect world, I've got all those units on another gold mine, just mining super hard. I'm pumping out more raxes. So yeah, I didn't really play very well in this game. And yeah, as we can see here, I'm just still desperately trying to produce units here. And every time I do that, I mean, yeah, I'm slowly picking away at them, but he's killing my ogres like in like 2-on-1 or even 3-on-1 situations, as he goes ahead and takes my natural expansion. I should have taken that base, sooner in this game anyway, but yeah. So anyway, I'm still mining at the bottom right, and he finally gets into my base there and pretty much kills all those workers which should have been somewhere else mining gold. And yeah, so I research haste here, and I fire off my Death Knight to yeah, maybe get some kills somewhere, as yeah, my bottom right base is pretty much the only place that I'm still mining gold here. And as you can see, I'm down to about 5,000, and my gold production is not that great. As I see here, he's not only has he taken that base, but he's mined it out completely, and then chopped like all the wood around it as well. So yeah, like he had that base most of this game, and I was just like oblivious to that fact. I had those grunts sitting around his base like this whole game. They could have been scouting there. So again, I didn't play very well here, but I do get a good hit off here on his expansion with my Death Knight, pretty much kill all of his work, all of his workers there. And yeah, so at this point here, it's getting pretty close. Again, I've got just shy of 6,000 gold here. I no longer have any mining going on, and my Death Knight here, I Death Coil. Actually, I made a mistake there. So Death Coil, when you use that spell, it actually replenishes your health. So when you're full health and you use Death Coil, as a reaction to like killing something, it's stupid, because what's going to happen, you're going to use the Death Coil, it's going to hurt them, but you're not going to get that health back because you're not missing it enough. So whenever you use Death Coil, always wait like halfway through the fight. Like let them get a few hits in, then use it. Because, I mean, for two reasons. Number one, again, you're going to benefit, but you're also basically going to extend the life of your Death Knight, so you've got a better chance of winning that fight. Like a Death Knight can beat a Knight 1-on-1 if you use, like if you Death and Decay the area that you're in, and then the Knight's going to sit there and absorb that damage, as I'm frustratingly trying to micro my units here. Anyway, so at this point I'm actually feeling okay, because as you can see here, I've got a pretty sizable army of Lust or Ogre Mages, and this is really one of these fights where I kind of see the difference in the actually not this fight in particular, but just kind of these sequences that are coming up here kind of demonstrate how the balances have changed here in Remastered. Because in the original Warcraft 2, like if I had 12 or 13 ogres with Lust and you're human, you're not even gonna, I mean, you can try and fight me with your knights or paladins, but you're gonna get run over. Like you could have 18 and you'd lose that fight probably. And anyway, so yeah, as you can see here, me frustratingly trying to get all my workers around the river bend here, the river Kwai. And yeah, so he's like, hey, how you doing, bro? See you later. He has a good reaction there to get his worker units back as I lust up. And here's the other issue too with the the balance change in the lust. Like as you can see, I'm just lusting up my whole patch of ogres, which is kind of what I'm accustomed to doing in in the old version of the game. And it's because in that version of the game, it's 50 mana per cast. Now then it's 60 in this. It does make a difference in a game like this, where I mean I don't want him to engage me unlusted, so I'm just going to keep lusting my ogres as I run around the map. But as I do that, because of that difference, even though it's seemingly slight, it does matter. It does change how often I can lust my ogres, by like 10% or whatever it is. Yeah, so here again, I'm feeling pretty good. I've got all these ogres, and yeah, I think I've got a pretty good feeling. I've got this game in the bag at this point. I'm kind of smashing this base up, and this I think was probably where things went downhill for me at this point. That Blizzard just took out a lot of my workers, which were ogres, which were mostly half dead. And again, I just kind of I'm not playing very smart at this point in the game at all. Like, he's pretty much blizzarded all of my ogres. I could have easily just sent a few of them around to take out that mage, which I think is just over here on the right. Yeah, running away there. Like, and then he comes in and engages with his knights, and yeah. So I pretty much just lost the game there. And that's all good. But yeah, I definitely made a lot of mistakes in this game. And Mactruck played quite well. He definitely had a better strategy at the beginning. He put me on my heels with his knights early, and yeah, I'm just between my poor strategy and sloppy play here. He definitely outmatched me here and deserved the win. Yeah, so as I say that here, I've basically got a small handful of ogres, so I'm not giving up completely yet here. But I mean, yeah, I'm just like, I've got that ogre under my blacksmith. He's been there the whole game. Like, it's like just stuff like that when I'm watching myself play. I'm like, man, I'm bad. Like, I'm not very good at this game right now. But actually, I mean, that stuff like that can happen to the best of us anyway. But it definitely tells me I'm still rusty. Like, I mean, not that I would never make mistakes like that, but certainly, if I was playing like a tournament game like this, it's like I probably saw it. I just was too lazy or something, or not incapable of like managing to grab them, or maybe I just thought, hey, I'll just leave them here for a rainy day or something. So anyway, so you can see I'm running through his base here and shuffling these ogres around, looking for this final engagement. So this game kind of goes on for a while, and so he's gone ahead and taken that base here, and I say, okay, well, time to take that out. So of course I send what few units I have here, and as you can see, I've got 500 gold. He's now attacking my main base, and yeah. So yeah, I've got my one worker running there. So he's got a batch of knights there, and anyway, I just decided I'm going to run down, kill his town hall here, and as you can see, my lust has run out. So I'm relusting my units here, and as you can see, I don't have a lot of mana on most of these ogres, and so I, maybe shouldn't have had even bothered lusting there. But yeah, that blizzard again, just whittling me away here, and yeah, so kind of going for a last stand. Now, I would say one thing I did wrong in this game too is I didn't get runes. One of my other videos I talked about, how kind of efficient runes can be, especially in a tight game like this. Like, I could be, setting him up, casting runes, taking out some of his units without even having to engage them. And yeah, I didn't even research it for whatever reason. But sometimes when in a lot of cases when you're playing games that are really close like this, you're just kind of scraping by the skin of your teeth until you finally realize, and it's one of those, woulda, coulda, shoulda situations. So I take out this mage there, and he gets a little bit of blizzard off, and yeah, blizzard is such a strong spell, because even when you just get it off, it lasts a lot longer than death and decay. Like, if you just get one cast of it off, like that can do quite a bit of damage. And yeah, so humans definitely have an advantage when you're dealing with games of attrition like this. Now, especially now that Bloodlust has kind of been nerfed, if he had healing, this probably would have been even more of a W for him. Anyway, so yeah, again, he's got about eight or so knights there at my main base, and I've got 5 ogre mages. I mean, I've got really 4, because one of them's basically dead. So yeah, going to engage him here, and just to try and chase those knights and catch them off guard with my bloodlust. And of course, he's probably thinking the opposite thing, where he's running them away to make sure that my my bloodlust runs out before he engages me. So yeah, and here, a flying machine would have been perfect in this game for me right here. But again, I didn't make that. And yeah, so I'm just kind of roaming around here, trying to see if I can, maybe pick off some some stray units or whatnot, and but I do kind of, I don't like my chances, I don't think, at this point. I kind of called this game like 10 minutes ago, but as you can see, yeah, I mean, I'm the kind of player, if I think I've got a chance at winning, I'll stick around, you know, for as long as it takes. If I have a slim chance of winning, I'll take it. But yeah, in this case, as you can see here, he's not only got the knights, he's got the archer there, and yeah, not even Bloodlust is going to get me through that batch of ogres. And so at this point, I'm just kind of, I remember thinking in the game, like, let's just do this final battle. Like, you know, I've waited this long to engage you, even though I know I'm probably dead. And here I'm thinking, like, okay, come on over to my tower. Maybe I can, you know, maybe you're in a rush to get rid of me here. And anyway, I realized I've got just enough gold to yeah, make a grunt here, so I decided, okay, well, I'll make that for my last stand. And anyway, he's got a flying machine, like, just right over my units. He knows exactly what I'm doing. And yeah, so I actually canceled my grunt, decided, you know, why not make one more peon and try and mine some gold and actually stay in the game. Because had I made the grunt, I would have had enough gold to make the peon, in which case I just would have been dead. So here, actually, I catch one of his knights off guard, and I'm like, oh, this actually might be going okay. But then my bloodlust runs out here, and yeah, so here I just kind of don't do it. So I send in my front attack ogre as the one that's not lusted, and that, I mean, I wasn't going to win this fight anyway, but that just really solidified the fact that I made a lot of mistakes in this game and I lost. So anyway, so that's the end of the third game here, and so we're just going to the final game. And so yeah, Mactruck has got the lead 1-0 here, so I've got a 2-0 lead on Gouda, and then Max got a 1-0 lead on me, and I think Gouda beat him 2-0. So it kind of just goes to show you here, you know, how things go in terms of the competitive scene of Warcraft. Anyone can take anyone else out, I think, at a certain level, we'll say. So, all right, we're back on skirmish here. So I'm humans, and yeah, so this one, I will say this is going to be pretty lopsided. I won't spoil it for you here as we get started, but yeah, so back on this very rush-heavy map here, and so I'm just kind of doing your typical farm, throw up a farm, and I mean, that's pretty much all you can do anyway. You know, it's like you either build a farm or you just sit there with a twiddling your thumbs doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, so here I'm at a different position than last time, and so I decide I'm going to put my racks down here. And actually, I don't really like where I put my barracks here for a few reasons, but again, I've never really played this map, and so you know, up until, you know, this tournament, that is, and anyway, so sometimes you kind of just do things without too much consideration, you know, especially when you're unfamiliar with you know, the terrain, the geography of the map you're playing on. And so as you can see where I've got that placed, it is good in the sense where I want it to be as close to him as possible, but because units always pop out on the top left of your building, and then I make it even worse here, actually. I don't know what I was thinking here, but yeah, I clearly wasn't thinking. So I put anyway, top left is where the units pop out, so all of my footmen have to run all the way around my barracks to get, you know, towards my opponent now. And now I've made it worse where they have to run around my second barracks. And, you know, if, you know, for some reason he could have, you know, really made me look like an idiot here if he had decided to, you know, offensive tower me or something. He could have kind of walled off my barracks and my units, etc. But I mean, I feel like this map's, you're just a little bit too, there's just not enough geography to take advantage of. Like, you know, if you watched my last game where I talk about my Ninja Warcraft skills, I'm, you know, hopping around, and I have like an initial place where I can put something to my advantage. But when your base is kind of open like this, in this case, and you don't have, you know, trees around your gold mine or anything like that, there's really nothing to exploit. you know, you basically have to create your own advantages. So, I mean, you can wall a tower off, you know, on your opponent's town hall, for example. But, I mean, it takes more than one unit to do that. So you need to have that initial kind of anchor point into your opponent's base where you can kind of build off of it, and you don't have that in this map. So as I say that, I'm, you know, kind of mounting up my my forces of footmen here, and just kind of deciding to push the issue. And I really don't have too much of a sense of what he's up to at this point. Now, he has zero sense of what I'm doing, so he definitely made a mistake in this game where he didn't scout me. Like, as far as I know, he didn't scout me at all, so he has no idea what I'm doing. Like, I could be doing anything and he would have no idea. And when there's really, I mean, when you're that close to your opponent, you know, you should know what they're doing. And so I kind of pop in here and I'm a little confused. I'm like, where are your units? So then I find them, and he finally at this point has kind of counter scouted me with one of his footmen. But as you can see here, I basically just run him over almost immediately here because he only has one barracks. And yeah, definitely probably, well, most certainly not a good strategy for this map. You know, because, I mean, again, he didn't scout me. Like, it's one thing if you scout your opponent and say, you know, all right, he's only taking one rack, so I'll only do one racks. But when you don't scare your opponent at all, especially on a map like this, and then you use like a really kind of like an econ-friendly build, you know, this is just what happens. You just get run over like immediately. And so that's exactly what's happened in this game. I kind of call an offensive GG on him here, and I didn't mean it disrespectfully, but it was just very clear. There's no way he could have won from that point. And yeah, so anyway, he agrees with me and he leaves the game. So anyway, so that's the end of that. So I tie the series up with Mactruck. So I'm currently sitting at 3-1 in my division here. I've got one other player to face, and again, it's going to be on these same two maps in a 1-on-1 scenario. So we'll see how those games go. I might put them up here as well. We'll see. But anyway, that will complete my first round of the tournament, and then next week I'll go into hopefully the second round. Although I think it's looking likely that I'm going to advance to the second round because you've got to be the top two players in your division, and right now I'm pretty close to that anyway. But who knows what'll happen? All right. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you enjoy this format where I just kind of go game after game after game, or if I should cut these up into shorter videos. I will, again, in the description, you know, cut these games up into sequences there where you can just click on to start the next game if you don't want to, you know, watch every single game. But anyway, again, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Like and subscribe, guys, and have a fantastic day.